Welcome back to How You Slice It podcast. I'm here today with Gabriele Lamonaca,
Yes, correct.
who moved to New York. When I say here, it's New York City, where we're sitting here at the headquarters of Slice. From Rome originally,
Yes.
and you came to New York and you noticed that there was a big gap in the market for gourmet Roman style pizza, and this is where your journey began. Very excited to host you here. The name of the shop or the company is Unregular Pizza.
Yes.
But please introduce yourself and tell the people listening who you are and what got you here.
Well, thank you very much for interviewing me here.
Of course.
I've seen so many times the interviews, the podcasts of Slice, and obviously I also use Slice every day. So
Great.
Yes, it's very cool to be here. My name is Gabriele Lamonaca. I'm from Rome, and I came here in the US in 2008 to go to college. I studied chemistry. The initial idea was to become a doctor, but then it didn't work out for me. I always worked in restaurants, and that's what I love to do. And I took that path in my life. I always worked in restaurants for distributors, importers of specialty foods. And while I was doing that, I noticed that, as you said, this kind of like gap in the market for pizza, for a gourmet pizza. So I noticed that if you wanted to eat a very good gourmet pizza with like good ingredients, you had to go in a restaurant, pizzeria, like, sit down, where a pizza may cost like $15 to $20. Usually they were like 5 years ago, it was the moment of Neapolitan pizza. So that's where you will get a gourmet pizza, right? But then you had to sit down, order, leave a tip, get something to drink, and then you would spend like $35, $40, which is normal, right? Yeah. But something like quick, convenient gourmet, I didn't see it as much. There was the convenient regular slice shops of New York, right? But it wasn't the kind of quality that I envisioned. So I started this project of trying to open a pizzeria. It took me so long to figure out how to put the things together. Investors, the team, to open a shop, it takes a lot
business
of
plan, basically.
A business plan, exactly, to find the right spot that didn't cost me so much money. It's a big challenge here in New York City, obviously. And it took me a long time to figure out. While I was doing it, then the pandemic started.
Oh.
So everything stopped. I couldn't do anything to move on with my project. But
and you had not opened yet.
I didn't open it. No. I basically started this project in 2017. I actually went to work at Chipotle.
At Chipotle?
So I had like a kind of like corporate job in a very big company, a coffee company. I was very comfortable with what I was doing, but that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to open a pizza shop, but I didn't know how to do it. So the best way to learn is to go to work inside the store of what I thought it was the best in fast casual.
Yeah.
It was
they are
Chipotle.
They're in the top. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Right? So I desperately got a job there. It was really hard actually to get hired, and I dropped my very well-paid job, and I went to work there for what it was $11 an hour as like an assistant manager, and I learned so much. So
amazing.
Yes,
amazing.
And it was like a very, very, very good school for
me. What were some of the big lessons you learned that any pizza shop owner can apply to or you apply to your own business?
I think the biggest lesson is that the owner has to know how to do everything. Like by everything I mean like doing the cashier, doing the pizza, obviously doing the product, doing the orders, but even like cleaning the bathroom. You have to know how to do it, because otherwise how do you tell people if they're doing it wrong or not? So obviously Chipotle, they had like a lot of procedures in place. So it was really like a school for me.
Yeah.
So I did that. And
it's the basics. Just to pause you there. So many people make the assumption that in order to have a successful shop, you have to do all these like crazy and wild ideas, but there is no success without the basics first.
Absolutely.
It reminds me of I don't know if you know who Ray Kroc is. But
Yeah,
Ray
of course.
Kroc, he wasn't the
McDonald's, right?
founder of McDonald's,
Yeah.
but he's the one who scaled it and franchised the system. And I don't know exactly how the saying goes, but somebody asked him in a podcast like this, "Hey, what's your secret to success?" And his response was that my bathrooms, when you go to McDonald's, the bathroom is incredibly clean.
Right.
And the person was like, "Well, that doesn't sound like a big secret. Like, why, He said, "Well, are your bathrooms clean?" And that has stuck with me because too often people take for granted the real basic stuff that has to be great before you even think about reaching any level of success.
Right.
So just wanted to really highlight that because I think too many people skip that part and they
course.
immediately go to the shiny new sort of sexy thing, but it's the basics that are very, very important.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then what happened after that?
No, then, I also was working in the meantime for other pizzerias, other restaurants, in the meantime that I was getting prepared to open my shop. But then the pandemic started. So that completely halted everything, for everyone in the world, basically. And so I couldn't do anything for my project but one thing, making pizza at home. So I started making pizza, Roman style pizza out of my oven in Midtown, like deadly Midtown, like dead Midtown.
Yeah. Tell people a little bit about Roman style pizza. What's the difference?
Yeah. So there's like a little bit of confusions when people think about Roman style because there are, I think, at least three Roman style pizzas. So one is the one that you eat in the restaurant. It's like very thin,
it's
round.
Like a sheet. Oh,
it's a round, very thin pizza, right? In Rome, people eat at a restaurant pizzeria, right? Sit down. Then there is pizza al taglio, which is like the typical street food of Rome, and usually they carry it with scissors in Rome.
That's the one
exactly.
I know. Yeah,
exactly.
So it's called al taglio.
Al taglio, yes,
Okay.
because al taglio means cut.
Oh,
so
interesting.
That's why, because they basically cut it and they weigh it.
Got it.
So
and you order it by like the pound, not pound, but like
by kilo.
Yeah, kilos.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And each pizza has a different price, obviously.
Interesting.
That's exactly what I do. The pizza. The only thing is that we here in New York, we decided not to do by weight because it's very time consuming and it would have taken a long time for people to get accustomed to it.
Yeah, people don't know. Like if you said, "Hey, how many kilos of this pizza?" People are like, "I don't know."
Exactly. So we just decided to go by the slice.
Yeah.
But the product is that. And then, a third style of pizza, which is like up and coming right now, it's a pinza, which is like an oval shape.
Interesting.
Style
Pinza?
Pinza. Yeah, from they say from the ancient Roman. That's so the these three styles. I do pizza al taglio. Which is what the pizza that I grew up eating, basically. And we do that style. What sets that pizza apart from other pizzas is that first of all, the fermentation of the dough. Usually is very long. So we do 72 hours.
72 hours.
So 3 days fermentation.
Wow. Yep.
So that makes the dough very light, crispy, and digestible. It's very important for those people who wants to get like a light lunch, before going back to work. And then the second thing is the toppings. So usually the pizza al taglio is filled up. Every inch is filled up with toppings.
Some topping, yeah.
Yeah, because we Romans we like to eat a lot. Yeah.
So you're making this in your apartment in Midtown.
I was making it in Midtown. In my apartment, I was trying like different combinations of toppings, and experimenting a little bit. Because I had so much time to dedicate to it, and that's basically my passion. So I was really happy to do it. And then while I was doing it, my now wife, Paola, she started like taking pictures and videos of the pizzas, and together with her, we opened up this profile that we called Unregular Pizza.
Got it.
Why Unregular Pizza? Because obviously the regular slice is like the most common slice of pizza here in New York, at least. That's the most known. and what people are comfortable with, right? But we just wanted to do the opposite of that.
The unregular.
The unregular, yeah, which is, obviously it's...
Which is synonymous with like local pizza. Like local pizza, independent, authentic pizza is meant to be unregular, right? Like it cannot be a perfect circle.
Oh, yeah, totally.
It needs to be very imperfect, very unregular.
Exactly.
And I love the brand, by the way.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We took a long time to make it so that people will remember it, because obviously New York is I think it's like the capital of pizza in the world.
In the world, more so than Italy, more so than Roma.
I think so. You know why? Because here in New York, you can really taste any kind of pizza that you want. It's here. There's all kinds of style, so you can really make yourself a culture for pizza here. Whereas in Rome, like in Italy, there are like local specialties here and there, obviously. But
not all in the same place.
No, not in the same place. Exactly. Yeah. So I think that's
Do you have a background in branding or creative or
no? Actually, my wife does.
Oh, she does.
My wife does. Yeah, she has a communication company, and she specialized in restaurants and food businesses here in New York. So she helped me a lot figuring out like all the Instagram. How to post it, what to tag and what not to tag, how to manage all the exposures that we got into with like social media.
Talk about some of those exposures. Was that really helpful in driving, customers to your brand? Actually, before we get there, when did you finally open up the shop?
Well, actually, the shop came at the end of the pandemic, actually, because during the pandemic, I was making pizza, right? I was posting it, and what happened is people started like noticing this pizza, and they wanted to buy it from me. But instead of buying it, I wanted to barter it. Barter pizza for anything else that people would make at home.
You would give them pizza, they would give you cake.
Exactly.
I'm making it up.
It came very this idea came very organically out of nowhere. Basically, I delivered a pizza with potatoes to a friend of mine from Rome, and to thank me, she gave me homemade cocktails. So that was like, okay, that's pretty cool,
That is very cool.
Why don't we do it again with another friend of ours she was making a homemade lasagna and homemade pasta. I was like, yeah, let's do it again with her. And she was like, yeah, sure. Let's meet up in the street. We recorded everything. We posted them and they posted us.
That is amazing.
And, it was an amazing experience because you get to, first of all, interact with other people, which was very unique during the pandemic. Exactly. And then you get to taste something else that someone else made for you at no cost, basically. And you get to share what your passion is, which in my case was pizza. And I got a tons of feedback also.
And how rewarding to make something for somebody else. That's like better than making it for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of times I also like customize the pizza based on the person, right? So it was really fun. And then basically this barter we started during the pandemic and we carried it on for more than a year.
Oh wow!
So over and over.
And you would post this on social media.
Yeah, I was posting it on.
People started getting really excited by it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it happened out of nowhere that I got contacted by the New York Post. That was in February 2021. Yes. And they said like, oh yeah, like, we like this story. This barter. Like we want to record the barter. It's like, yeah, sure. And they came in my kitchen to record, and they made an article, and from there we kind of like exploded media wise. Like a lot of other newspapers, TV shows. I mean, they wanted to tell the story, and it was really cool. It happened all at once, and it was very it was crazy, it was crazy. And then like 3 months after that, we opened the shop in Union Square.
Amazing. And how long? Oh, so this is the shop you were working on way before the pandemic.
Yeah,
that stopped. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was already working on it. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Were you nervous the day you opened the shop? Like,
oh yeah.
What were the feelings that were going through your mind? Well, the day that you were about to sort of open up, you opened the door. Were you afraid people were not going to like the food? Like, what was the
Yeah, I
What
mean,
was going through your mind?
well, it's a lot of emotions, right? Because we spend so many months getting it ready, figuring out every single details, and then suddenly when you open, you don't think about the things that you thought that were important, right? Because you have to take care of other things. And then when people start to say, okay, I want that. Here's is my money.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. So it's so rewarding, Yeah, it's
So people paying for your product, the store is open, customers are walking in.
yeah.
They're enjoying your food. It's just the whole journey is worth every penny.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the most rewarding thing is when people say, "Okay, this is the best pizza I've ever eaten," and that's really amazing. I mean, I open up the shop every day just to see the reaction of people after eating the pizza. That's what I really want to. That's what really makes me happy at the end of the day.
What have been some of the one or two big challenges in operating a shop once you opened? What were some of the challenges you
One,
had to overcome?
one or two, like 10 or 20.
10 or 20.
Exactly.
Top one or two, yeah.
I can't even think about it because there were so many unexpected challenges that they're kind of like even boring because yes, they have nothing to do with the food. Like constructions, permits, these kind of things. They were really like hard to figure out at the beginning. But then yeah, like everyday operations, they're very challenging. For a small business like us in the middle of New York City, there's so much competition. Like in the range of one block, we have like 4 pizzerias, and that includes even Joe's Pizza.
Joe's
by
Pizza.
the way.
Oh, you're right. I know exactly. So yeah.
So which is like
Joe's on 14th. Yeah.
Yeah. So which is really a threat, obviously, because that's the most famous pizzeria.
Yeah. But you know what
in
I've
New
learned?
York.
You know what I've learned? I love looking at data. I love looking at information, and one of the areas that I really like to focus on is what is the consumer behavior when it comes to pizza shops. And as a pizzeria owner, I like to believe that life is a zero-sum game. By that I mean, if somebody's buying at Joe's, that they're not buying from me. Or if somebody's my customer, that means they're not Joe's customer. And what I learned, and really one of the driving forces behind even launching Slice, was the realization that the consumer is loyal to 4 to 6 different pizza shops, and for many different reasons. And they love to rotate. They love to buy from 4 different locations, in total about 18 to 24 times per year. And they don't do it because they don't like one over the other. It's just a matter of preference in that moment in time.
Right.
It's the reason why one day you want Chipotle and the next day you want McDonald's, or maybe the next day you want another, pick another Taco Bell.
Right.
It's not like Chipotle did something wrong. It's not like Taco Bell did something right. That was just your preference that moment in time. Maybe it was a pricing thing. Maybe it was a timing thing. Maybe it was where you were, driving to that day. But it is clear as day that the consumer's behavior with pizza shops is not zero sum. And so, while definitely competition is a reality in the world, I actually think there's more value to be created if shop owners, not just in the pizza industry, but just generally, start viewing the world not as a zero-sum game. I think there's a lot to learn probably if you spend some time with Sal at Joe's Pizza, who I know very well. You both can probably do even better individually if you find ways or find common things to sort of work on.
Yeah.
So something to think about. I share it with you because I want to share it with the world that the consumer is actually not a zero-sum game, interestingly enough. It was one of the most mind-blowing data points that I learned early days.
Yeah.
So competition's a challenge. Just being open in New York City is a challenge.
Yeah, competition is a challenge, but but also what I say to other people that say, oh, there are 3 other pizzerias, why would you open there? Well, because there are 3 other pizzerias.
Correct.
So that means that there is business, right? And people want to eat pizza there.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a challenge. A challenge also is that we're offering a different product, right? So the people are not accustomed to. So we spend a lot of time also to kind of like not educate, but like inform the customer about our product. Why is it better? Why is it like that? What makes it unregular, right? We do have some ingredients that are kind of like particular, so people ask about it, and a lot of times that we spend in stores to talk to people, and it's. But I always wanted to have like conversation points, because that I think that adds a lot of values to,
without a doubt,
to the experience
for sure.
that they have
and being authentic, being yourself, bringing something that you believe is important or you believe in to the world is probably the number one quote unquote secret to success for pizza shops.
Right.
And then speaking of the product, when I walked in here, there was this incredible pizza, which I'll post on social media. But you have your signature burrata pizza.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about, why that draws the big crowds and some other unregular combinations that you've worked on.
Yeah. So while I was figuring out like different flavors, different combinations, I noticed that about like a couple of years ago, burrata was really taking off as a product. That people started like knowing about it, like so many more people over and over. I think it took the place of the buffalo mozzarella. Yeah. Before it was like buffalo mozzarella, it was a special thing. Right now, like no restaurants would serve buffalo mozzarella anymore, but everybody would serve burrata. And so I was like, okay, let's do something with that. So in the spirit of the Roman cuisine and Roman people, the way they eat, they're very exaggerated, in flavors and in quantities. So I was like, okay, instead of putting like a little bit of burrata, why don't we just put
a lot of burrata?
Not the whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole burrata on every slice. So you eat the whole thing. And that really resonated like very well with people. Obviously, during the pandemic, while I was bartering, I was, giving the burrata pizza, the burra pizza to other people, and they were really pleased by it, and I received like a very, very positive feedback about it. So I knew that was a product that needed to be expanded, needed to be developed. So the best seller that we have is the burra pizza cafonata, which is with pepperoni, spicy honey, and nduja sauce, and the whole burrata. And I called it cafonata. Cafonata, it means in Italian, it means tacky.
Interesting.
So it's like a tacky pizza because he has a lot of stuff. And he has like pork, like over spicy, over sweet, and it was just a lot of things going on. So I call it that way. It's actually funny to Italian people when they read it. It's like cafonata. It's kind of like funny.
Yeah, and but that's sort of the genius, and even how you advertise your products, how you name them is very important.
Yeah, exactly. How I named it, and also the way it looks, right? Because right now we live in a world that if it doesn't work on social media, then it doesn't.
If it doesn't
really work.
Look good, people assume it doesn't taste good.
Exactly. Yeah. If you don't notice it while you scroll on your feeds, then it has like less chances of workout. As a product. So I think this product did really well in that. But obviously, when people come in the store and they try it, they're like, "Oh my God, it doesn't even just look good, even tastes very, very good."
Yeah.
So,
what are some other creations, whether they're current or maybe things you're working on that customers can look forward to? What are some other popular, unregular creations?
Yeah. So our main product is pizza. But obviously, there are a lot of people that they come because they're accustomed to find in a pizzeria so many other products, right? Yes. They ask us for pasta a lot, right? And but our shop is very small. We have like 500 square feet total. It's very, 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 very small. and we just couldn't do pasta.
Right.
It was
'Cause
just
you
too
need a
much.
kitchen, the whole thing.
Yeah, it was just too much. We didn't have space. So I was like, how are we gonna do it? How are we gonna do it? I was like, you know what? We can do pasta, but just in another form. So I made a fried pasta.
Interesting.
So we made a pasta cacio e pepe, which is a Roman dish.
Yep.
And we cooked it and then we fried it into, and actually brought it here.
Yeah,
So if you
I
want to
saw
taste
that.
it later, and people loved it, And so we're actually gonna expand this section of fried pasta. Right now we only do cacio e pepe, but we're gonna do different flavors moving forward.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's something to complement the pizza offer. Yeah.
What is some advice you would give other pizza shop owners who are looking to stand out, make a name for themselves, especially in a smaller budget? Because it's easy to create a name for yourself if you go and spend $10 million.
Right.
But most small business owners don't have $10 million.
Yeah.
And so there's a chicken and the egg. What are some pieces of advice you would give?
What I think is very important is it's like to innovate, to do something new all the time and to try out different products, different things, different ideas, and that's it's not taken for granted this, because it's to do a special in a small store where you have like a million problems, when you don't have time to do anything, it's really challenging, but you have to find the time to gather ideas, to brainstorm and to try it out and to see if it works.
Yeah.
Because the idea is to try out like 100 things, and one is gonna work and it's gonna be a success, right?
Of course.
Yeah, like if you have $10 million, you can do this like very quickly, right? By the way, if you have $10 million, you can still fail a lot of times.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, McDonald's failed a lot of times. It failed with pizza.
Of course.
Right, like in the 90s, I think, right? Which is incredible. Like how did it fail, McDonald's? It failed. Yeah,
it did.
So it's not about even money. It's about try and try again. Dedicate time and effort.
Yeah.
That's what matters. I think.
Doing something that is like something you believe in. I think too many people try and copy. So I imagine, there's a lot of people who just go in and they say, I'm going to launch this pizza shop and I'm going to make the same pizza as Joe's. And it never works because that's Joe's and you're you. And what I admire most about you is you embrace that you're you, you're bringing something to the market that is special to you. It's based on your background, where you grew up, and you believe that product would succeed in a market. And that has also been a very consistent story on this podcast from operators who are very successful. They just basically say, don't try to be somebody else. Be yourself.
Yeah.
And absolutely innovate. Try different things. Don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
Eventually, you have to fail in order to find success. You can't, there's no one without the other.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's next for Unregular Pizza? Like, what's the future? Let's fast forward 5 years from now.
Yeah, the idea is to replicate this concept in other parts of the city and other parts of the country, right? Obviously, it's a dream. It's very hard to accomplish that with so much competition. But the idea is to do that. So we're looking to open another shop right now in the city.
In Manhattan.
In Manhattan,
yep.
Yes. We were also looking in Brooklyn, and step by step, we're gonna get there.
One at a time.
One at a time. Yes, exactly. But it's very hard to do it because then you have to be consistent, and you also have to not lose focus on the quality. So it's good to replicate, to know how to replicate it, but it needs to be also the same quality. So. That takes a long time to figure out, because even it happens also for like big companies or like big brands, right? That they replicate it like in other cities, but then it's not the same, right? No. Because it misses that soul, that thing that.
And you only get one try.
Exactly.
If you launch somewhere else and it's not successful, like that's it, right? That's you're not going to go back there.
So that's why we have to be really careful, but that's the plan, you know.
Amazing.
It's a plan.
Well, congratulations. Story's incredibly inspiring. I look forward to trying the pizza without a doubt. And yeah, we wish you continued success, and thank you for making time to come on here and tell your story. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Bye.